Well, first, I think San Francisco defensively, they were physical, they were quick, and they made it hard, and they had some rim protection. The times that we got to the basket, we really labored to finish, partly because of their shot blocking, and at times we just weren't physical enough on finishes. We avoided some contact, so that was it. And you make a lot of threes against Towson, and that's the game, and that can be, I don't want to say fool's gold, but it's never that easy. And I knew San Francisco, their space, and if they start making shots, boy, they put you in a lot of tough spots. And they made enough big plays, and we had enough breakdowns. They ran good offense, and whenever we kind of broke down or weren't sound, they took advantage of it because of their ability to shoot and their quickness with their guards. And again, offensively, your initial question, when we got to the rim, we didn't finish. We just weren't great, that's for sure, and you look at the stats back that up.
Bennett Conlon, you're unmuted.
Coach, I was curious about the energy level. Did you think that was sort of up to par today? Was it just a lack of execution that sort of led to the loss?
Hard to say. San Francisco played 3 games in 3 days, so they played hard. They were scrappy. You could see that the way they were. It ebbs and flows, but we talk about that, playing as hard as we can, and whenever, we had maybe a 2 or 3 possession lead, we would do something either uncharacteristically or unsound that cost us, or they'd make a big play, and that stuff's there. But the energy level, we didn't look like we were moving real hard, and we looked a little lethargic at times. I don't know, I'll watch the film, but some of the looks were good, but then you got to get down and get gritty and work like crazy to get stops. And again, as I mentioned, credit to them that they space you, they spread you, and they have some good ball screen actions with quick guards and shooters around them.
Preston Willett, you're unmuted.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned how they can spread the court out there. Do you think it was just, not closing out in time, or just bad switches, or what was it that you kind of stood out to you?
As I said, whenever we had a breakdown, they took advantage of it. If we didn't help and recover, if we closed out, stayed too long, closed out with our hands low, left the ball screen defense too soon, boom, they really made you pay. And then at times, they certainly hit some tough shots. They got hit a bank shot at the end of the shot clock, made plays that were there. And our defense wasn't sound enough for long enough. There's going to be runs, they're going to make tough shots, but you got to start eliminating some of the breakdowns. And again, that's something that this team has to keep addressing. We lost 2 terrific, physical, active defenders, and could play on the glass, and that's something that we got to keep fighting and trying to find our way in regards to that.
Mark Berman, you're unmuted.
Hey Tony, Mark Berman, New York Times up in the skybox, so hope you can hear me with the music playing here. Obviously they won that 8-0 run in the last 3.5 minutes of the game there to take the lead for good. What did you think of your defense during those last 3-4 minutes?
Yeah, again, they had us stretched and not great, obviously. We showed on a ball screen, and I think Jay showed, and then the guy, we just went to the wrong spot, and they got a couple. If people are hitting contested shots, I say this all the time, and you're making them earn them, okay. But if they're, getting by you easily and getting layups at the rim, or they're getting uncontested, shots, well, that's different. And I thought they had too many of those, partly because of their good offense and partly because of our inability to either keep the ball in front and stop it and scramble back. And both of those things were on display, sometimes at crucial times, of course.
To have a loss like this, second game of the season, obviously after you had done so well in the first game and number 4 team in the country, what's your message to your team at this point?
Yeah, look at it in the mirror, grow from it. Forget about it. If you're at all thinking, well, we won the first game handily and look at our ranking. We've all been down that road. That means nothing to start. We have to keep being as good as we can be, and that's just not coaches speak. We got to kind of harden up. We got to get gritty. We got to be tough, tougher to score against, and be the best version of ourselves. And nothing is assumed just because of what's on the front of your jersey. You just work. And I think some of the concerns or question marks we had showed and they didn't get answered. So we now go to work and say, all right, what can we do to be better? And use this in the best way possible. And that's all I know how to do.
Okay. This will be the last question for Coach. Jeff White, you're unmuted.
Yeah, Tony, Justin McCoy had your final field goal of the game, and Reese Pinkman made a number of plays, particularly in the second half. What did you think of the play of those younger guys?
Definitely. I said some bright spots. No, I thought, I was hoping maybe Justin would get an and one. I thought there was contact, but look, he finished it. And what I like about Justin, he's real competitive, he's continuous and assertive, and as he gets more experience, he's going to keep getting better. So did a good job, and I thought Reese really played well. He'll learn from certain things, but I thought he showed the makings of a heck of a player, and you could see that again. So those are definitely some bright spots. And, those guys got to just keep coming. And now again, early in the season, you just battle back from that. But thankful for, again, how they looked and were bright spots for sure.